Okay, yeah. Now your audio's coming through.
Okay. Oh. Wow, that's.
They kept saying that you were just pointing at stuff on the screen. And I'm like, why don't they see what you're talking about?
Oh wow, that's. Wow, that's. I feel incredibly stupid now.
Oh wow, that's. Wow, that's. I feel incredibly stupid now.
And I can hear myself.
You might want to.
That was like 20 minutes.
Okay,
You might want to do a quick overview of what you were just doing when you were pointing at the screen.
Okay, so okay, to take a step back now.
Really, they can hear you twice.
Okay, okay, I'm terribly sorry for that. Let's see, I'm gonna go and basically what I was doing now, I was indeed flailing about with my cursor there, and I was sort of explaining the shots right there. Okay, well, okay, okay, let's start again from the beginning. I'm gonna go and skip the conceptual stuff for now, and just gonna go ahead and just take you behind the scenes of the shots themselves. Okay, well, I guess I can cut the first 20 minutes off of the stream then. May upload it to YouTube. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go roll back to the beginning, and this right here is Sony Vegas, and let's just start from the beginning.
Isaac, can Evids and J-Holler be put into the chat?
Oh, sure, that would be cool. Gonna go and wait for those guys first.
I can have your contact. Oh well. Really want the contact?
Wow.
Stroking the hills and our mutual funds. Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab
Let's play the 70s pop music.
Okay, okay, so I guess let's start now, unless I need to, never mind. Okay, so we have the video right here in Vegas. I'm gonna use Vegas sort of as the guiding line, and I'm gonna take you through every single shot, every single segment of the video. Well, at least I got some practice in the first 20 minutes, so I already know how I'm gonna start and stuff. Excuse the technical stupidity. Okay, so I'm gonna go and assume that you've already seen Strife Like Applejack, so I'm not gonna go and tell you that you should watch it. I'm just gonna go ahead and start right from the beginning. Okay, so the first part I'm going to talk about is the opening. Which is the first 20 seconds. In the opening, we have sort of an establishing shot, a mood that's been established, that's being established through audio and visuals. The music used is Night on the Desert by Ennio Morricone, which is a very subtle, sparse, Spartan guitar track. If you wanna hear the entire thing, it's in the YouTube description, as is the other song. So what I wanted to do in this opening sequence was establish a mood, and I wanted sort of to tell a story. And the story is as follows: after a hard day of work, Applejack is resting under a tree, but she is sort of woken up by the sound of stampeding cows and a screaming blue Pegasus. This whole segment is very quiet, very subtle, very simple, and it's inspired mostly by classic westerns of Sergio Leone, which is, you know, also where the music is comes from. You can't have Sergio Leone with Ennio Morricone. Okay, so I'm gonna go into After Effects. This is After Effects, as you've already seen, but you didn't really hear. This is the very first time I've really used After Effects for a project of this size. And I learned a lot about its intricacies, about its quirks, about its workflow, its interface, plugins, how to animate things in it, etc., etc. And all that knowledge was sort of poured into the project. Okay, so we have the first shot right here, and the very first thing the viewer sees is a sun, which is a very classic motif of westerns. We see a sun. It's implied by the colors that it's golden hour and that the sun is setting, and we slowly pan down to the apple farm. At first I had Applejack under the tree here, and so it would sort of pan from the sun to Applejack, but I felt that that was too quick of an introduction. I wanted to really establish a mood and setting, and sort of build up to the big reveal of Applejack. So instead of using Applejack here, I use the farm, which also helps to establish that Applejack is in fact related to the farm. You know, she works at a farm, the farm is hers. So it tells a lot about Applejack herself as well. Followed by this is the first title card. It's just a straight cut to a simple text. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, telling the viewer that this short is in fact about a certain cartoon about magical, colorful ponies. There's basically no transition at all. It's just a cut to the title. There's nothing really fancy about it. If you remember the first draft, that's really started out as something spectacular, something awesome, something great right off the bat. And during the development of the first draft, it didn't really feel right. Usually when I undertake a project like this, there's a moment where I go dancing in my seat and go, this is awesome, I'm really making something great here, yes! But that never really happened. So I basically dropped everything and I started anew, which resulted in the thing that you just saw. So basically it's a simple title, nothing fancy. It's very Applejack-like, I think. Followed by this is another straight cut to the following shot. Which is sort of the big reveal of Applejack. Back into After Effects. This is the shot right here. Most of the elements that you see here are custom. The trees are made in Illustrator, as are the background elements here. I should note, by the way, that I am showing you this at half resolution, so as to not to kill my computer. I'm also live streaming, which is really hard on the working memory. Anyhow, the baskets are masked out from the show, and Applejack and the tree are vectors from mlpvectorclub.com. mlpvectorclub.deviantart.com, as is the cloud. So basically, this is the second shot, and it's a radical change in location, and it's a lot different from the opening shot right here, which sort of establishes the farm. And one of the possible dangers you have with changing your location so radically is that you upset the viewer. The viewer starts wondering, okay, where the hell am I? What just happened? Oh, okay, something new is happening, which wasn't what I was going for with this sequence. This was meant to be a slow, methodical, slowly paced, mood setting, establishing segment here. So to avoid that, I place the farm right here in the background between these trees right here. So that the attention is immediately drawn to the farm right here. So that as a viewer you immediately know where you are, or rather where you came from and where you are now. Okay, so we have already in the shot this hill right here, which as the camera moves to the right is actually revealed to be the foreground, and slowly we move to Applejack. The attention shifted from the farm to Applejack right here onto the tree. Basically it's Applejack chilling under the tree, and it really fits the overall mood I set with the music, I think. And yeah, that's basically it. As you can see, the background elements, these are these outlines here are the background elements. They just move across the frame right there. They're placed behind each other. Let's see, right here, for instance, is the sky. These are the back hills. This right here is the farm, and we have a couple of apple baskets. Let's see if I can bring it in a little bit closer. A couple of apple baskets. Applejack right there, and the tree, that's one layer. And the shadow is basically the same layer, duplicated and scaled, plus edited color-wise and opacity-wise to, you know, tell you that it's in fact a shadow. Okay, so moving on. These shots are all timed to the music. This tells the viewer that the music defines which shot is shown when. Let's see. Now we go to another straight cut. Another simple piece of text, Applejack, basically telling the viewer that what he has just seen is Applejack. So it's a very, again, simple cut. There is another cut behind after this to this medium shot of Applejack here. Though audio-wise there is a transition. Fading in around this part are the stampeding cows, which sort of foreshadows what's to come. So we have Applejack looking up, presumably to where Rainbow Dash's voice is coming from, and the video glitches up and goes to the next segment. Let's go to After Effects and look at that shot right there. I think now I'm back again at the part where I realized that you guys couldn't hear me. Okay, so this right here is the medium shot of Applejack. This is a masked out Applejack from Lesson 0. Again, the mask may not look as clean because I'm working at half resolution. Let's see if I can... Where is that? This right here, the masking is done using the rotor brush, which is a fantastic feature in After Effects CS5. And what it basically is it's magic. You draw sort of an outline around. I could show you what it does. What we have right here is this right here is what it looks normally, what it looks like normally, and we have the background here of Lesson 0 and the tree here as well. And basically, this outline right here tells After Effects which pieces I want and which pieces I don't want. So this is the original shot, and this is how it looks in the composition. All the background elements on the sky, are custom. And yeah, that's basically all there is to this particular shot. No, wait. There's the glitch right here. This is the first time in the video that we see this glitch, and it's a very sudden shift. It's basically introduced by the second song, which is Slew Test 2 by Kid Koala. This is this part right here. The Twitch is timed to that, and Twitch is basically what it does. It can sort of destroy or shake up or do all kinds of things with your footage. Well, I was primarily interested in Twitch because of the RGB shift feature it has. Let me just look it up, which is basically what it does. It takes apart all the different layers that you see here, and it sort of discolors them. It breaks them up across all three RGB channels, and it sort of destroys the footage. It breaks it apart literally. What's also cool is because all the background elements and Applejack here are on different layers, Twitch, because it's layered on top of the other layers, Twitch affects these individually. So they're moved around at random places and speeds, which really creates an interesting effect. So this is the first time we have this glitch used as an introduction or as a transition, and it's a motif that's used throughout the entire video, and it's a vital part of the video's visual identity. And this basically leads into the next part. Also, to ease or to build up the transition, this part right here is basically the same guitar strumming from during the Applejack title card, only reversed, so you get that. I'm not sure what to call it, but series like Lost use it a lot to sort of, and I can, if I turn off the rest of the audio, I can sort of get the point across. It sort of builds up to the next shot. So next to the sudden glitch, there is something to prepare the viewer for what's to come. Okay, so following the Applejack looks up segment is something I've called the tree run, which is the next 11 seconds of the short. Okay, let's go into After Effects. As you can see, this is one of the bigger compositions, and it takes a while to load. Actually, it sort of locks up After Effects, which is good because it gives me some time to look at the comments.
Well, first of all, let me just bring it up. Twitch is not trap code.
No. It's Video Copilot.
Hello, people.
Yeah, it's video copilot.
Okay, so now we have loaded up the next segment.
Oh, so.
Okay, so again, this is a very radical transition between the first shot and the second shot, and as you can see, this is a very complex and overly complex, I should say, composition here. We have a couple of layers and a composition within compositions. So what we start out with is basically trees. I should sort of turn off the music for a bit so I can narrate it. Okay, so we start off with trees. The camera slowly zooms out, revealing Winona and Applejack running, presumably running towards where the danger is. They catch up with the cows, and we jump into the motion comic sequence which I'll be discussing later. This entire piece right here is inspired by Michael Gondry's music video, Star Guitar, for the Chemical Brothers Star Guitar, which is basically a camera watching out of the window of a train, and elements go by like buildings and trees and bushes and telephone poles, which are all timed to the music. I am planning to use this for a future video, which I won't be talking about for now. So this was sort of a test bed to sort of test that out, and what it also does, the trees are timed to the sort of march-like tempo of the music. In comes a fence in the foreground, sort of visualizing the train signal alarm kind of sound. I'm not sure what's that called. And the sky slowly fades to the motion comic background. At first, there was no transition between this and the motion comic background, or the motion comic itself rather, which is a very another big departure from the established shots, the established style. So I sort of needed a way to introduce that, and changing the background over a period of 11 seconds. While all of this craziness is going on was a very good and very elegant way of doing that. Also, as I've now introduced the glitch right here as a transition, and it comes up later on right here, also timed to the music. The viewer already knows that something is about to happen. It's building up. Sort of 1, 2, 3, and then it goes, well, sort of mental, and the camera jumps in to the motion comic sequence. Wham, like so. Okay, now we are back in After Effects. First thing I'm gonna do is move the timeline cursor thingy here. Okay, so basically what you're looking at is a grass plane, background elements, a tree, a sun, the sky. The trees are mostly custom. There are actually, I think, like 5 different trees, but because they go by so fast, you can't really tell that they're the same. They alternate randomly. And we have here a masked out run cycle from Applejack and a masked out run cycle of Winona, complete with their own shadows, which are made the same way the shadows of the trees in this sequence were. Okay, so the grass right here is basically. Let's see. Oh, in fact, all of these sequences are all well repeated. It's not like one giant long grass plane. And I'm gonna go and see if I can. Let's see, grass comp. So this is basically the grass comp, and it's basically the same image over and over and over and over and over and over again. but you can't really tell because the detail on them is well, sort of randomized, so you can't really tell that it's actually switching between the front and the end. Applied to it is a slight noise in Photoshop to give it some texture, and also a gradient to give it some shading. Okay, two scrolls right. There we go. Ooh, needs loading frame. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Now we have the cows coming in, which is basically a run cycle taken from Applejack season. The Winona is taken from Applejack season as well. The run cycle of Applejack is taken from, let me see, Swarm of the Century, where she rounds up the Paris Sprites. But it's been mirrored to the right, mirrored on a horizontal plane, so that she actually runs, you know, to the right instead of the left, which would be weird considering I've already established that the shout came from the right. So basically she's running to the right, and over a period of 11 seconds she catches up with the cows, and the screen starts twitching up. At first, I see the fence here. At first I had, let me see if it's still in here. Okay, no it isn't. At first I had in the foreground trees covering the entire screen, instead of this low fence here in the foreground. This created a couple of problems. Mostly because the fence goes by really quickly, and as you can see now it's like one pole sticking out. If that's like something that covers the entire vertical the entire vertical width of the height of the screen, you get a strobe effect, which is well, which can induce seizures, which isn't really something I was going for with this video. Not completely, at least. Yeah, I had to change that to a fence, or something else. I went for a fence because it made sense considering, you know, it's the countryside. The fence is blurred up because it is in the foreground, so that the viewer's attention is actually going towards, you know, what's happening in the background here with AJ and the cows. So we start off with the trees right here, and that's the first thing that the viewer sees. The trees go by to the music, and that actually happens 3 or 4 times before the camera starts zooming out and settles on Applejack and Winona here. And this is to tell the viewer that the trees are going by to the music, and which sort of, you know, dictates the entire next 10 seconds. So we have the Twitch here, which transitions into the next segment. I should talk about the camera for a bit here. This is the first time I've used the 3D camera or functionality of After Effects. Basically what that does is you can show things in... After Effects isn't really a 3D program, it's more like 2.5D, because, you know, you're working on basically a 2D plane most of the time. And if I turn this off, you can see that the sequence is actually sort of, well, it isn't right at the moment. Later on, as the elements sort of move into place, it is right. That's because right here, the grass isn't yet in the frame itself, but because the camera isn't turned on, well, you don't really see that at the moment. So basically the camera, across a period of 5.5 seconds, it slowly zooms out and then it settles on this composition right here. So funny that I should stop on this frame. Here you can see a problem that you get when you work with shadows like this. These layers overlap. So the shadows right here, they are at like, I think 30% opacity, but because they overlap, it actually creates something at 60% opacity. That's not really a problem I found a way of dealing with, but because it happens like for one frame, you don't see it, so it's not really a big deal. Also, fortunately, later on the fence comes in, which altogether obscures this well, slight error, and you you can altogether ignore that. Okay, so then we move into the next segment, which is probably the most complex sequence of the entire video. This is the motion comic sequence. Followed by the lull of Twilight Get My Robe. This sequence right here, if I talk about this process in a chronological way, the opening was the first part to be made and finished. The freeze frame sequence at the end was the second part to be made. The motion comic the third, and everything else came after that, sort of. So that's sort of the how this thing was produced. So not in a linear fashion. This was because for a long time I couldn't figure out what should happen here. Basically, I've sort of ended here with Applejack running towards the cows, and this created a problem because what happens in Applebox season, well, if I could have converted all of that sort of into the look and feel that I already established here, you know, with the scrolling background and such. But actual complete animations of Applejack jumping onto the back of the cow, and things like that actually isn't in the show itself. So if I wanted to do that, I had to like animate everything, which I'm not familiar with yet. That's something for a future project. So I needed to find a way for me to sort of handle the sequence, something I could, you know, actually make, but also something that could sort of learn. Something I could learn from, something I could experiment with. So I started looking for like inspiration. So, oh, what can happen here? And part of this comes from the draft video, which already had sort of this gritty feel to it, with sort of the splatters and the sort of eroded bars and the like. I watch a lot of like motion comics from Marvel. I think a couple of them are on YouTube, and to sort of get how can I make something really cool without using a lot of assets, something that's really dynamic and has a lot of movement and is really cool to look at, something new, something fresh, without straining my abilities too much and forcing me to be completely unable to finish the project, which would be bad. So this is the solution that I came up with, the motion comic sequence. so now I'm gonna go into the After Effects composition here. And I say that with a bit of hesitation, because it is quite the composition here. Okay, where to start with this? Because this took a long while. I think this took the lion's share of the development, sort of figuring out how do I make paint splatter onto something. How do I make the still images visually pleasing? How do I animate all of this? How do I zoom past the different vignettes, so to speak? And how do I do all that? So a lot of the lessons I learned from this video came through this segment right here. And it was really fun to make. It took a while, especially in the beginning, because I had to figure everything out. Later on, as I got quicker and I sort of learned the ropes, it became a lot easier. And yeah, I think I finished this. I finished everything from the halfway point in, I think, a week maybe. I'm not sure. That everything is sort of a blur. Okay, let's start from the beginning. We have Applejack here, and at the moment there's no paint splatter whatsoever, save for the this segment here right under her mane. I'm gonna go into that. Let's see, that is AJ jump. Okay, so this is the composition itself. What you see, there we go. What you see here is actually a composition which I placed into this composition. Cue Inception Brahm. Okay, so what we have here is a mast frame from the run cycle of the cow, another frame of Winona, and this right here is Applejack jumping from Fall Weather Friends when she jumps the... is that called the long jump? I'm not sure. So anyways, she jumps on top of the cow. And slowly paint splatters onto the screen. Also, this Applejack right here shouldn't be there. Let's see, that is this. Yeah. Okay, so we have Applejack jumping, and the actual frame itself stops. I think the actual composition stops at this point because it didn't really need any more in the final motion comic composition. See the paint splatter right here, and I'm gonna go and choose one. See, is that... Nope, it should be... it's only this one. Nope. As you can see, there's a lot of organizational, logistical problems when you start working in composition as complex as this. That's AJ Jump 3. Let me see if I can find right smear. Let's actually turn on. Okay, so basically I'm not gonna go into too much detail here. What happens is there is a smear effect applied to it, and if I can just find the right splatter here. There we go. And the smear effect is basically, it sort of warps your image, and you can sort of unwarp it over a period of time. I'm gonna go and autosave this project, which apparently After Effects wants to autosave this project. This is good wine, by the way. I love wine. Okay, so we have this splatter right here, I'm gonna go and turn off all the other splatters so that you can actually see what's going on. Let's see, let's turn off Applejack, Cow, Winona. Okay, so this is basically the splatter here, and what happens is that it scales over a period of time, and then it sort of unwraps itself and splats onto the screen. And this is what happens with every paint or grunge splatter used in this particular jump sequence. It's not used throughout the entire sequence. Go and turn, jump still, period, blah blah, you and you. So it's not used for every, it's just sort of to introduce the grunge splatter look to it. Also this splatter right here is slightly moving over a period of time, which is to give it some movement, so that it doesn't feel like a static image sort of moving across the screen, which would be boring. Applejack here is, let's turn on Winona as well. Applejack here, which is jump 4, is moving sort of across a path here over a period of time. And it's also rotating to sort of imply that she is airborne and rotating towards the cow there. So that's basically the very first shot that we see, and now we go to the main com, just load back in, and now we get to see the first use of the 3D camera. The cows aren't actually there already, but they sort of appear, sort of give it some depth, and the camera moves over them and towards the next vignette, which is Applejack landing on the cow. This is actually recreated from the show. The cow is again from the run cycle I had, and Applejack here is masked out from Applejack running, jumping, I should say landing on top of the cow, on top of the cow's back. Also, I should mention that there is a sort of grungy texture applied to the cow and Applejack here to give it a textured feel, so that it doesn't, feel flat, and to add some detail to the entire sequence. Again, there's paint splatter, and this right here, these sort of drops streaming down, sort of are that's a moving mask around the splatter there, to sort of imply that it's actually streaming down. Followed right after that is a sudden shift to Applejack on the back, presumably on the back of the cow. We follow the rope down, which is, after this shot, the first thing you see is the rope, and we follow that down to Applejack here. And I should probably open this up in Photoshop too, if Photoshop wants to cooperate, that is. Ah, there we go. Let's see, file, open. Now you get a glimpse of the amount of files that were used in the creation of this particular video. This is all the PSDs that were used outside of the motion comic, and these are all the images used in, let's see, type, in the motion comic itself. Okay, let's see, this should be rope pan main, I think. Let's see, rope pan 2, rope pan 1, main, yes, yes. Okay, so let's open this up. Shrikul, there will be time for questions after I sort of presented the entire video itself. Yeah, thanks, Fenster. Okay, so here we have the particular vignette in Photoshop itself, which is basically a piece of rope, the lasso here. This is actually, this right here is one segment masked out from the show, and let's see, Applejack here is also masked out from the show, and this piece of rope right here, that's what I added in to sort of get this vignette going. This here comes from Return of Harmony Part 2, which is Applejack standing on top of the balloon and she lassos after Rainbow Dash. And this, I'm not sure where this is from. Might be Applebuck season. Could also be Fall Weather Friends. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go back into After Effects. Okay, so in the background here we have cows, which is sort of to imply that she's actually in the herd itself. You know, it's kind of crowded here, and it's kind of busy, and Ponyville is in danger because of this stampede. Ah, Jim Lee just informed me, which is Mandarin Orange, by the way. Who is Mandarin Orange? That this is, no, that's from Applebuck season. Okay, so we have the camera panning down, all of this, and I'll go into detail about the camera later. I think I have a lot to tell. Okay, so we have this, which is then followed by a pause as the frame loads. Aha! And this is then followed by the rope. The rope moving across the screen, which is masked out from Ghostbusters when Applejack grabs the apple in her rope trick routine. But it's been mirrored and rotated to have it come from the left of the frame rather than from the right. There's a problem with this call. Let's see. Okay, so we have this, and this is actually a static shot. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have, where was I? We have the rope here, and again, this is resolution, so the mask sort of craps out. So we have the rope here, and it's actually static. There isn't much movement to it, to the sequence itself. It sort of moves in from the left, and to imply movement, to imply speed, behind it are the crunch splatters moving from the right to the left, which gives it that, you know, this is in motion kind of look. Okay, followed by this is the there's actually a very radical change in the sequence here. It's a the frame's obscured at first by this vignette right here, which is as it moves further in the back, which is revealed to be a cow. And this is a 3-part sequence of the lasso, finding a cow and grabbing it. This right here is again a cow from the run cycle. And the rope again is almost completely custom. It's also masked out from the show. And at first the background splatter here was different. It wasn't the same splatter, which gave a problem, as it looked like as if there were different cows being grabbed instead of the same cow. So to avoid that, I just used the same splatter, and After Effects wants to save again. I think I'm gonna go and turn the autosave off because I don't want to be annoyed again by this. Preferences, autosave. Okay, I want you to save every hour. Should be done by then. Okay. Okay, so here we have that sequence, and we sort of finish this and we move on to Applejack jumping from the previous cow onto the ground, and we see Winona here again. The cow right here is again taken from the run cycle. Applejack here is framed, masked out from the Applejack season, and the rope is also masked out from Applejack season, but placed on the cow here in Photoshop. Okay, so we move again a 3-part sequence with Applejack landing and continuing her run, and now we have a very radical, really cool shot, sort of explaining the size and of the herd here, which previously we only got glimpses of. So we zoom out, starting with Applejack and the cow here to sort of tell the viewer where he is relative to Applejack. So we zoom out and we have the cows here. Splatter goes from the front of the herd to the back of the herd to sort of draw the eye over the entire size of the herd here. There are about 30 something cows here. They're all framed. 4 of them are framed, masked out from Applejack season and copy pasted in Photoshop. There are 2 different frames from each cow to give it some variety, and they're placed sort of at random in the herd here. This was annoying. I masked all of these cows out in Photoshop, and it led to a lot of technical difficulties, and all of this took like 3 hours, where it should have taken like maybe half an hour, because of masking problems and the annoying quirkiness of Photoshop to sort of resample your mask and adding this 1 pixel border around things, and as you rotate it and scale your cow down. Okay, all of this, by the way, is timed to the music. I'm gonna go back in Sony Vegas a bit to sort of get the point across. I'm gonna wait just a tiny bit for it to load, so that we get smooth playback. Okay, sort of smooth playback. So yeah, everything is timed to the music here, and then we sort of go into Applejack stopping the cow here and ending the first part of the motion comic sequence, actually almost ending the first part of the motion comic sequence with Applejack having stopped the cow, and Winona here standing in front. Also in the background are, you know, standing cows, and here we still have the running cows. Sort of tell that, you know, she has just stopped the herd, and you know, a couple of other cows are still running. So we have this right here, and this right here is a cow's mast separately from the one in the show. I think this is from the part where the cows sort of walk away after they've been stopped by Applejack. The rope has been placed around this cow in Photoshop. Okay, so then we move to sort of a throwback to the first draft, which is, if you remember, in the very first thing, the very first transition between the normal footage in the first draft and the custom sequence there was basically this shot, which I thought was, you know, kind of a funny thing here. Let's see what to tell about this. Right here we have Applejack standing on the hill with Winona. The hill itself is actually not taken from the show, but I recreated that in Illustrator because I was unsure whether it would fit inside the frame itself. Plus there were trees on top of that and all kinds of things like that, so making the custom hill here, that was a bit more handy. Also, it allowed me to separate the foreground ponies here from the hill in the background, which sort of creates this parallax effect as the camera pans down. The hill in the background, as this is 3D, stops going down before the foreground ponies do. Sort of creates a really neat effect. So this basically ends the story of Applejack saving Ponyville from the angry cows who got mad because Fluttershy poisoned their water and they all got mad cow disease or something. I don't know. Okay, so we have this right here, and the next section was a problem, and I'm still not sure on how I handled this. Also, maybe I think I'm having, yeah, there is a problem with this call. I think I'm gonna go and, as I do like having people here, I'm gonna go and recall everyone. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. I'm still not too sure about the following segment because it sort of stopped here, and I still had like 3 seconds to go. So you know, what do I do with this? And I already had the lull placed here, sort of the climax of the motion comic sequence. So it had to lead up to this part. So which provided some guidance, because you know it had to end here. So it would probably end up with a shot of Secret of My Excess. So going back into the artifacts, right here. So I thought of many things, and I decided to have sort of a montage of different best moments of Applejack. The composition here glitches up, which is sort of to tell the viewer that this is a transition to something else, and we fly past a couple of splatters here, and we end up at one of the more, actually kind of sad that this is such a short segment here, because this actually took a bit of work. This is a shot of a Dog and Pony show. Here we have Applejack, and I should probably load up the, let's see, open. What the hell did I call this? Still another run cycle. It's probably dog 1, 2, 3. Yes, they are. Okay. And let's see you, and I think that's it. Okay. Now we wait for Photoshop to load these things up. Elevators waiting music. Okay, so this part right here is basically 3 different parts. We have Applejack here in the foreground, which is one of these. That's the dog, and here you have AJ, masked out from a Dog and Pony show. Funny thing, Applejack is actually not in front of Pinkie Pie here. There's actually part of her leg here is obscured. So I had to repaint that, which wasn't the first time, the last time I had to do that. More on that later. So yeah, we have Applejack here, who has been placed in the foreground. We have 1 dog, and we have the rest of the main cast, with the tail of Twilight cut off, which you can actually see for like 2 frames, but you know, the camera's moving so fast you don't really see that, so it's cool. Let's see, this is supposed to be in the back somewhere. Cows, AJ Jones. What is this place? With so many cows, I can't see. Okay, so here we have basically Applejack getting rid of the dog on her back, and the rest of the main cast as well. Applejack right here and the dog are in focus, and the rest is sort of blurred out and placed in the background to focus the attention on Applejack right here. The dogs move over a period of time, they rotate, and they actually are placed in such a way, you know, that, you know, Pinkie's dog came off her back first, and then Rainbow's, and then Fluttershy. Yeah, that's that sequence, and then we move, let's see where it was, emoji gone. Then we move to another glitch right there, to a shot of Flame and Flam, in the background there, machine, the infernal machine, which is a vector from mlpvectorclub.deviantart.com. Flame and Flam here are masked out from the show. I looked for vectors of Flame and Flam, couldn't find any that were to my liking, so I opted to mask them out myself. Followed by a shot of the Apple family, and this is again a very quick sequence, and like I said, I'm not too sure about this since it goes by like really quickly, and I'm not sure if you will get the point of it. Let's see, to imply that these 2 segments are related, there's no transition, no glitch between these 2 vignettes there, and the splatter sort of continues between this and this. Let's see, the Apple family right here is mastered from the show. Applejack here is a vector, again taken from mlpvectorclub.com. And then we move up. Again, a glitch to mark the transition, and we have Twilight and Applejack right there with Spike in the foreground. And it glitches up completely and transitions into the lull. Okay, now I mentioned I was going to talk about the camera, which I'll be doing now. Basically, what a 3D camera does, it allows you to move in 3D space in After Effects. And I can illustrate what it does by turning it off. Okay, so now we have this, and basically as this sort of continues, nothing happens. The camera doesn't move, but you know, as you can see, a lot of other things move. And now there's absolutely nothing, because all of the compositions are actually not in this part of the frame. The camera actually moves between them, which creates a very complex amount of keyframes. I'm gonna go quickly check on this. Okay, it seems the call is okay now. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of keyframes here, which move the camera around. You know, it's now at 640 by 360 minus 3982. That's X, Y, Z, and Z space is sort of 3D space. So that's the third axis on which the camera moves. And it starts changing its location here as it flies past the cows there and into this onto this particular vignette here. And the camera moves down and moves to the right, and this was basically the first time I really made such a camera track, and it proved to be a lot of trial and error, but it was a lot of fun, and because you get like instant feedback, like you punch in some numbers and then the camera moves, and sort of getting to finish these segments and watch it. That was a lot of fun. The camera moves. Now it moves actually back in Z space. Moves to the right. Camera moves again back in Z space and rotates. At least I think it rotates. Okay, no, never mind. It doesn't rotate. The vignette here itself actually rotates. And let's see. Now it moves to the right and moves down and moves to the front again, and that's sort of the camera work here in this particular sequence. And now that I've finished this, I can finally move on. I've realized that I've been talking for like an hour, and this is turning into quite the presentation here. Well, again, there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so we have sort of this build up here, and then the sort of the little lull here. Again, this is built up by a reverse of the guitar here from the first song that I used on Night on the Desert, and sort of the music cuts out completely. And this is something that I've been doing for, I think, a lot of the trailers. I think I did this. Then like my Sparkle did this. That the little trailer-like funny line. That's a bit of a running motif across all the trailers here. Also, to ease the transition, is a sort of a flash, which is basically made in Vegas because flashes are pretty easy to make. It's basically a clip. It's not actually. It's not actually like a white thing. It's basically just a clip with the brightness turned up to 100 and it fades in, which is a quick and easy way to make flashes. Lasts actually for a couple of frames, and before it goes into the lull here, it's just to help the transition. The lull is then sort of cut off by the main segment of the. Let's go back to the timeline again. Main segment of the video, which is where all the crazy stuff happened, basically. Not to mention freeze frame. This lasts for about 12 seconds. No, 22 seconds. And was the last section of the video to be finished. I'm going to go into After Effects. It's actually divided into several parts. Just gonna go and play it first. So here we have the sort of the return of the motion comic here. I've already introduced the motion comic to great length in the previous segment. So now now it's used sort of as a transition between different Basically, it creates a montage, which is sort of another motif of the series. Basically, showing clips from the show of the character doing awesome things. Obviously, the first clip to be shown is, you know, Applejack with her rope, with Twilight, to sort of tell that this happens after the lull here. So we have this, and then we have sort of the transition to the next clip from the show. This part was the last one, and it was definitely a part I was unsure of for a long time, because I couldn't really figure out what am I going to do with this. Basically, my solution for this was to just use things already introduced previously in the motion comic sequence to sort of tie everything together, and it makes for some of the most awesome shots of the entire video, I think. Let's get into the first one. AJ rope run here. Let's load it in. Basically what this is a clip from the show. It plays. Now you get a glitch, which should happen, yeah, about there. What happens here actually is that we have the background glitches up, but I masked out Applejack here, which sort of who sort of stays the same. And then we have the camera moving. This is where the change happens, and we sort of return to the visual style of the motion comic. And the camera moves to a new part, a new location, and it glitches to Applejack there, and we move into the second clip here of Applejack jumping something that's really high. Whee! This is then followed by a straight cut, which is basically from the show itself. Actually, no, wait, it isn't. This is a cut I made myself. I timed it to the music, and all of these shots are timed to the to various effects from the song itself to sort of emphasize them. And there's a crash, which sort of introduces the next, you could say, roller coaster ride of the sequence, which is actually a really interesting sequence. It's the transition slow-mo jump. So it's basically the same thing. We have a regular clip right here. We have a glitch transition, Applejack masked out, and then the camera moves back at a pace, and then it rotates, and then it settles on the next Applejack part right here, and then it moves back into a clip of Applejack with Apple Bloom, which is something I wanted to there are a couple of parts of Applejack that you sort of need to show in a video, and one of them is, Applejack is athletic, her family is very important, and no, it's short, and admittedly my trailers aren't really all that big on story or themes, but that's not really been the point of the series, and the series was sort of a way for me to learn all of this, and now that I've sort of gotten to know all these programs, I can start thinking about what I want to show instead of how I want to show it. But anyway, the inclusion of Applejack and Apple Bloom here sort of illustrates their relationship, which is important. So yeah, we have this right here. Again, this is a 3D camera. It from this point on forward, it moves back past a couple of paint splatters which have been placed. I can actually, let's see, active camera top. Let's see if it actually helps. No, it doesn't really. Hoped it would. Never mind. So anyway, these paint splatters here are placed further back in Z-space, and like really physically, you could say. The camera has a wide aperture to it, which means that the farther you get from a subject, or it's the point it's been focused on, the camera, the blurrier it gets, which creates a really cool depth of field look to it. And we move back, and then we see the next segment. So as a viewer, you already know where you're going next. The camera then goes back and settles on that frame, which is again Applejack masked out from the show, and then the regular sequence continues. So we have that. All of this is timed to the music as well, which meant placing the splatters, bit of trial and error there. Okay, and then we have one of the shorter transitions. It's basically the same thing. Glitch, apple bloom, and this is a really quick one. Sort of moves past a couple of paint splatters here, and to Applejack and Rainbow Dash, again masked from the show. Glitch to transition back into the regular clip, and we have Applejack running. Let's see, this then brings us to this. Right here. Okay, so we have the regular clips here, and they actually glitch up to the music. And now, as a viewer, you've been introduced by the notion that when you see a glitch, you zoom out. It's already happened like 3 times now, but it doesn't happen now. So you're sort of left wondering from, okay, what just happened? Something was supposed to happen, but you know, it sort of builds up 1, 2, 3, and then it jumps back. So it sort of surprises the viewer with another roller coaster sequence. Let's see, midway, Twitch has been applied to get that really cool looking RGB split right there. Camera slows down, and we move back to the rope tricks segment of Trixie right there. Also, I mentioned this before, I had to repaint a couple of frames, or partially at least. Let's see. Open. And shift place not in the Moco. RD transition rope to run. Ah yes. Let's open this. Okay. So as you can see in the show itself. There actually isn't a top of the rope here. It doesn't exist, and there's no way of getting it because you know you're sort of confined to the frame's width and length here. So what I did is I painted a piece of rope on top of it. Also, there is the edges here, or basically there's a blurring effect of the rope here, which meant I had to repaint it partially to sort of clean it up a bit. This I had to do for a lot of the following sequences. Let's see, so here we have this transition, again 3D camera, and here you can see you know, it's only for a couple of frames, but you know, as you are zooming into it, you will notice. If I hadn't done it, then it would have just looked, well, bad. And another glitch. this time with a bit of the brightness adjusted, so to emphasize the crash that happens here. And we move to Applejack doing a rope trick, which is followed by another part with a glitch emphasizing a particular part of the song. This is followed by the last, yeah, I'm guessing gonna call them roller coaster segments. Let's see, we have this right here. This is certainly the most intense, you could say. See, it moves back, and again, this frame has been cleaned up in Photoshop to get rid of the blurred ropes there. Let's see, we move back, and this is the camera rotates almost 180 degrees, minus 180 degrees, I think, actually, or is it plus? I'm not sure. Anyway, move back, and this is the most intense, the most yeah, the most intense sequence. So to sort of get the sort of ease it a bit, I placed this splatter right here, so that you don't, you know, lose too much of a sense of place and rotation here. So we move back, again, glitches up, and we move back into this frame right here, which again I had to repaint partially. Let's go back to Vegas, because it's basically this, and as you can see, part of her leg doesn't exist, most of her tail doesn't exist, so I repainted that. Let's see, file, open, should be here somewhere, transition, here we go. Yeah, so I think I can turn off like several layers. Just look at the point across. Maybe yeah, there we go. Maybe this layer, or maybe I already painted over it and I sort of can't illustrate it. But yeah, basically her tail I had to repaint mostly, as well as her leg here. So yeah, again, because this is in the frame for actually since about this part, you can already see her tail here. So for like 2.5 seconds, you would see that she has no tail. Had I not painted the tail back in here, or the leg. And so we move into the next sequence again with a glitchy transition there, which is the freeze frame sequence. This sequence serves to bring the video to a climax, and so, yeah, build up the intensity. I'm just gonna go and play it. Unless Vegas wants to crap out on me. Okay, so we have this sequence, which is the final sequence, and which means the presentation is about to end. Let's see, freeze sequence. Gonna go and load this up. This is basically just a clip from the show, and then we have a transition into a Photoshop file. What you see here, and I'm gonna open this up in Photoshop as well. Open. Let's see, this is probably freeze frame 2, but I'm not sure. I just realized I can see previews in the open dialog, but whatever. Okay, so no, it isn't. Let's see, open. What is it then? Freeze frame base, probably. This is basically why you use naming conventions and why you need, when you have a project as big as this, why you need to have a set structure in your folders, in your files, and set naming conventions and the like, because after a while you lose track of everything. Also, as you can see, the color, at the time the color was different. I was still experimenting. This was the second sequence to be made, and I was still experimenting with sort of the color scheme. As you can see, this looks awful. This looks absolutely horrendous, and I'm so super glad that I didn't use this. So what I did in Vegas, I changed the I edited the color settings. Now this is basically a Photoshop file which I put into After Effects, which is cool because this means you can keep all the different layers which are also present in the Photoshop file, and you can edit in, and you can still edit them in After Effects individually. You can also animate them. As you can see, the starburst in the background here is actually rotating. The grunge is rotating on a slightly different speed to get that parallax effect going. And also you may notice that this frame right here is actually bigger than what's seen in the final sequence here. This is the sequence here, so you can actually see the outline here. This is because I made the canvas bigger in Photoshop, because I was going to work with the 3D camera here, and I was going to work with 3D camera here. So there was a possibility that I would sort of get nothing on edges of the frame here. So I had to sort of use a bigger canvas and load that into After Effects. So that I actually get everything I want on the screen there. Okay, so we have this, and this is again a 3D camera zooming in. It's time to the snare. The snare is beautifully emphasized in the song here. So you have a very sudden, I'm going to go back in the freeze frame sequence because it's much more apparent here. We have a sudden zoom followed by a sort of a slow zoom there. It suddenly zooms in, and to keep that momentum going, the camera continues to zoom in slightly. This is then followed by the second part of the sort of the montage with again a very iconic Applejack moment. I wanted to have a lot of iconic Applejack moments in this because, you know, this is a trailer showcasing the character and telling the viewer just how awesome she is. Again, the masked out frame here has the grungy textured look to it to give it some extra detail there. So it's funny to see is that the grunge here on the starburst is now pretty minimal, you could say, for want of a better word. So now we have the grunge here, and it's, you know, it's a bit more. And now we have this here, another iconic moment where she completely destroys the bell thingy. There's suddenly a lot more grunge. We move on, another scene from Fall by the Friends. She has a rope in her mouth. Pardon. Glitchy transition. And a bit more grunge there. Also a bit more grunge here around as an outline here to get that parallax effect going. Let's see, this is followed by a scene from Fall by the Friends where she is incredibly happy. And again, a lot more grunge in the background. And this sort of builds up along the way. This is Applejack kicking complete and utter ass. Again, a lot more grungy splatters here in the background. Another iconic shot from the second to last Applejack-centric episode. last roundup, where she jumps the thingy there, and we have I think one of the most striking shots of the entire video there. She's placed here in the center, and we have the starburst sort of emanating from the middle there, followed by Dear Princess Celestia, I didn't learn anything. This is the very last thing that you see. So choosing this shot took a bit of trial and error as well, because you know this is the shot that you end with. How does she walk like that? I mean, look at that. I mean, goes by, and how does she? That looks incredibly weird. Anyway, moving on, and again, this is a very iconic shot of Applejack, and we end with this, and it glitches up again. Time to the music, and we end with the title card, Strive, followed by the usual titles. And this, I think, just about wraps up the entire behind the scenes of this video. Yeah, it's been quite a ride, and I've learned an incredible lot, and I think now is the time for questions. Are you still here, by the way, in the chat there?
You talking to us?
Yeah, the
Mo had to leave.
okay. Okay, so are there any questions from the live stream chat here?
There are people still here.
Okay. Yeah, I refer to the Skype chat as the Skype chat, and we have the let's see, what was the grunge texture made of? Do you refer to the splatter, or do you refer to the grunge texture that I placed on top of the overlay on Applejack? Okay, one question on the, at a time, please. And let's see, the overlay on Applejack is actually, let's see, open. I think it's in source images. It's actually we have a paper. This is the source image for the sort of the motion comic background, and placed on top of that are two. Actually, I think one. This texture right here. I sort of forgotten when I got these. But basically what I did, I placed this on top of the, I think I can, whoops, let's see, lay it on the background, okay, I want to duplicate this, so you're gonna go on top of paper.jpg, okay, let's place you there, multiply. And I adjusted the brightness a bit, but you know, you sort of get the point. Maybe I changed the opacity a bit. I'm not sure if I have the PSD somewhere. But this is basically the grunge. And then I just selected the outline of Applejack there, and just used that as the selection for the grunge texture. I'm just gonna go and. Let's see, how long did this take to make? Well, I started on this project. Right after Shanik Rarity, which was finished, I think, around the end of October. Then I spent 6 weeks making the first draft. And basically I dropped that, and ever since that, so that's about mid-December, I worked on this. So yeah, I guess that's about like 2 months maybe, but that was a lot of time was spent learning the programs and the like. How many cows did you copy in that sequence? There were about like 435. Why are you so awesome? I have no idea. I just do things, and people like them, apparently. Let's see, now that you are done with these trailers, I'm going to do more pony-related stuff or something else. I am going to do more pony-related stuff. I have like, let's see, and I'm going to have to count this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things maybe that I have down the line for this, next to some secret things that I can't talk about. Let's see, who is your favorite pony? My favorite pony would be Pinkie Pie. What color am I thinking of? Well, I'm not psychic, so I can answer that. Let's see, what are my computer specs? My computer specs, I have a, it's a pretty old computer, you could say, but it's still pretty damn good for what it does. It's a quad-core Q9550, so that's 4 times 2.93 gigahertz. That's a processor which is hooked into a Gigabyte P5Q Pro motherboard, I think. Yeah, I think. Let's see, that's hooked into that is an ATI Radeon 4870 1 gigabyte video card. And I have 8 gigs of RAM, which is the maximum amount of RAM this motherboard can take, which is annoying. Let's see, are you playing another Pony Mix? Yes, and I have already started on it, because it's fun to do. I know you've told us already, but how many different programs went into making this? Let's see, the video itself, the final edit was done in Vegas, so that's 1. All the effects, most of the effects actually were done in After Effects, so that's 2. Custom assets were made in Illustrator, that's 3. Images were edited and masked out in Photoshop, so that's 4. Video was rendered from Vegas and encoded using Adobe Media Encoder, so that's 5. The footage is converted from the iTunes rips and KVs, Matroska Video, using Virtual Dub, so that's 6. How do you feel that now you are done with the trail projects? I'm liberated. Yeah, because you know this has been like half a year of making videos, and throughout that time I've sort of built these constraints for myself, and I sort of, you know, created my own creative sandbox in which I worked, in which I made these trailers. You know, I mean, I had to use footage from the show, I had to use different music, I had to be like kind of short, trailer-like. I had to learn, one of the goals was that I was going to learn all these programs, which was also a part of this. And now that I'm sort of done with all of that, I can move on. So I am incredibly excited. I also am a bit tired right now. But you know, I am really excited, yeah. Are you putting on your cigar in celebration? I actually put up my cigar for now because having 2 hands to control the things that happen on your computer is handy. I have tried editing with a cigar. I've also tried playing games with a cigar, which is not, I don't recommend that. What's your favorite show? Doesn't have to be MLP. My favorite show at the moment is My Little Pony. Other shows that I really like, Game of Thrones. I'm also watching Star Trek The Next Generation, currently in the 2nd season. Top Gear. And I guess that's about it. Are you going to continue streaming on streaming progress on projects? I'm not sure. You see, I've been offered. I have an internship coming up in Vancouver, Canada, which is halfway around the world for me. So I won't be bringing my editing PC. Now, I've already mentioned that that having a beefy editing PC for this is handy. especially when you're live streaming, because live streaming takes a lot of resources. So I'll be taking my laptop, which is a far cry from what I'm using to edit these videos. So no, I won't be streaming. Oh God, Ozone.
I recognize that question.
Yeah, I've got a serious question.
Yeah, I like your question, Fenster there. How do you feel about your videos having such an effect on other PNVs? Was this something you anticipated? No. I started Race Like Rainbow Dash, and it was sort of like, you know, I'm just gonna go and make this video. Though I have like a cool idea, and I have a lot of programs I can learn, and a lot of stuff that I can do. And suddenly it gets like, I think it last night, like Race Like Rainbow had 170,000 views, and it just exploded on everything. And I uploaded Strive Like Applejack, and the comments they just kept pouring in. It was a stream, this unstoppable stream, and I was like, what is happening, you know? And it just it was completely unexpected, and seeing you know, things that I made sort of homaged, I guess, in other videos, most notably the use of silhouettes, you know, black silhouettes across like the color build. You have like the rainbow colors going from left to right on Race Like a Rainbow Dash. That has been, I've seen that a lot in other videos. Also the glitchy sort of feel to it, that's also been used a lot, and I can only say that I've been astounded, I've been surprised, and this has been an incredible ride. Favorite movie, and Mind Game, I guess I'm gonna go with. That's it's a Japanese animated film by Studio 4 Degrees. You need to watch it. Any words of encouragement or tips for other video makers who look up to you? Okay, my first thing that I would say, I have people looking up to me. What? You know, it's still something I need to get used to. Any tips or any words of encouragement? Yeah. You know, the entire skill. You know, it's just mind blowing. Let's see, any words of encouragement? Do your own thing. Try things out. Make a lot of things. Try, experiment with things. Go out of your comfort zone. Look up different sources of inspiration and try to emulate them. I look a lot at, you know, motion graphics, and like with Strive Like Applejack, Sergio Leone film, and I you know, if you want to make something which you know, requires creative thought, you sort of need to combine different things, and what I do is I combine ponies with, you know, different music, with different visual styles, and I try to build this visual identity. And yeah, you need to like look up like different sorts of inspirations, and you know, but not just on the internet, but also, you know, from films and television series, and, you know, things from real life, paintings. The project that I'm doing, I guess I could say right now because I'm already thinking about it. Project that I'm doing is going to be inspired a lot by oil paintings, and it's going to be a lot more quiet. So yeah, are you afraid of copyright laws? I could say that, you know, I work in a gray area, and I use music that I don't own. I've actually had Love Like Fluttershy was taken down, and it's a danger that you have, you know, when you do these kinds of things, because, you know, you are, you know, working in the gray area. Fortunately, I managed to get Love Like Fluttershy back up again after I sent a dispute to that. And yeah, I can, I guess, if you want to avoid that, look up free music. Create a SoundCloud account. Look up free music. Subscribe to YouTube channels which showcase free music. There are lots. Mr. Suicide Sheep, 17 Tumba, etc. etc. So yeah, do that. Is this what you do for work? No, because I actually don't work yet. I will probably be doing it for work. You know, because I've been you know, learning all this stuff, and I believe to be at a pretty high level already. There's still like I've only scratched the surface of this, and there's an entire iceberg under this, and I'm really excited about it. But I guess I could be doing this for work. I will probably be doing this for work. What's the best pony form? Well, Barton, I only know one pony form, so I can't really make an objective decision about that. What is love? Well, you have to find that out for yourself.
Isaac doesn't understand love.
Oh, I understand love, but it's a very abstract thing.
Love to get with After Effects.
Yeah, I think love is baby talking to After Effects.
Actually, I got a question, John. Out of everything you've done on the video, from like the actual technical aspects of it to the community aspect, what would you say is probably the most rewarding thing that has come out of this? And what would you say is your probably maybe your least favorite thing that's come out of this?
Well, my favorite part of this is the completely unsuspected, completely surprising explosion of feedback that I got, and that's basically that. And you know, I'm doing the stream right now, and I'm answering questions of people, and I you know, doing this is the most fun I've had ever. Maybe, I'm not sure. I have a lot of fun, but this is definitely one of the times that I'm having, you know, the most incredible amount of fun. Let's see, the least...
The reaction is the best part?
Yeah, let's see, my least favorite part. My least favorite part, and is because that it has had a, you know, I've sort of echoed in the era of effects in videos. Which meant that, you know, a lot of videos, you know, started using effects, which is pretty damn cool. What happened though was that the quote-unquote simple videos were overlooked, and some of those are actually some of the best that the community has put out. And you know, Question Daily started dividing them up and not paying any attention to them, because, you know, the viewer base wasn't paying any attention to them, and I really felt bad about that, because well, you know, on one hand, you know, it was, you know, it sort of, I guess, revolutionized everything, but on the other hand, it had this side effect. But then again, you know, it wasn't really my fault. So, you know, I've sort of gotten over that. But you know, that was the most negative part. Let's see. Then there are a couple of questions that I won't be answering. Let's see. Favorite episode of MLP Season 1. Favorite episode of MLP Season 1. Suited for Success. Because I really relate to Rarity in that episode. Let's see. Favorite episode of MLP Season 2. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a surprise to the people hanging out in the Skype chat right now, but that would be a friend indeed. And I probably, when this is over, I'm going to watch it again.
I have a quick question for you. What do you want to do after this show is completed, like they're finished making seasons?
Well, I don't have ideas just for the footage of this show. I'm not sure what's next. I don't really think about that, but like I have ideas involving games and stuff, and things that you can do with, you know, the footage from the show. So yeah, basically that. Let's see, what's your favorite PMV?
Aside from your
well, you know, yeah. What's your favorite PMV? I really love Mandarin Orange's stuff, and particularly his latest one. The Stars Will Aid or Escape, Cosmic Love.
Yes.
Yeah, that. But there are also there are a lot of like I've subscribed to a lot of cool, interesting, fantastic artists, music and video wise. And I put all of the interesting things in a playlist called MLB Video Finds on YouTube. Let's see, who is your... wait, no, first this way. How do you think S2 of MLP is going so far? So far it's been incredible, and I never thought it would become this good. Like the first season, it was like, huh, this is good. This is great stuff. And then you know, Return of Harmony came out, and wow, this is even better. And then Lesson 0 came out, and that just blew my mind, and it has continued to blow my mind episode after episode after episode. Let's see, what's the worst PMV?
I think we know the answer to that one.
Andrew Kramer is magic. Maybe that's not the truth.
You know what? I'm not.
So here, I have the answer, but
Yeah.
I put it in the live stream.
Yeah, but I'm not one to really, like, worst implies that it's, you know, hate bad and that I hate it. I guess the most badly made PMV. It feels so wrong, you know, to talk about it like that, because, you know.
Dirty.
Yeah, no, because it's like you're the worst, you know, and that's so demotivating, and I don't want to do that. I want to, you know, help.
Like a pat on the back.
Yeah, you know, and like and you know, if I say something is the worst BNB, then I want to give. yeah, we're making some.
You haven't seen the worst PMV yet.
No, you haven't. Let's see. Next question. I think I've answered all the questions I... Oh, no. Who's your favorite MLP music artist? Okay, the first name that comes in mind that is Pinkie Pie Square, followed by Sim Gratina, followed by ISBMO. This is, by the way, a ranking. This is just people I think are awesome. General Mumbo, ISBMO, something epically. Let's see, So Great and Powerful. Yeah, I guess that's the list. If you were to meet Lauren Faust in real life, what would you say to her? Hi Lauren, I pirate your show and I use it for my own advantage. How do you feel about this? Yeah. If you're going to meet anyone from the development of this show, who would you want to meet?
What would you say?
And what would I say? I actually got a bit of amazing feedback from Jason Thiessen, who tweeted Race Like Rainbow Dash and Play Like Pinkie Pie. So I guess I would like. So hi Jason. I made those things that you tweeted a couple of months ago.
I make those things that you like.
I made that. Hi. Actually, since I'm going to Vancouver anyway, and DHX Media is based into Vancouver, and they're sort of related to the Vancouver Film School, and the guys I will be working for, one of them works at the Vancouver Film School, so maybe I can work something out and actually end up in
just gonna step into DHS media headquarters. Hey, I make those pony videos.
You know,
Get a job here?
why not? You know. It's possible. Also, apparently I got mail back from a question daily that it has been posted. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
It
not.
hasn't been posted. It's in their blog or whatever.
So then that means they're not going to do a single post.
No, it means it most likely will, and if they don't, then they're really just gone off the deep end. But it just means that it's in their queue. So like, if people have already sent in stuff and it's already in line, their stuff already takes priority, no matter whether or not yours is really that good. Like, they'll wait for yours to go on probably at the time of day also where the most traffic comes to Equestrian Daily.
Okay.
That's kind of odd. I'm just thinking when I had put up, they picked it up in like 2 hours, but that was also back in like what, September.
It also depends on
There
whether or
probably
not
wasn't also
it's slow
explosion at
day.
the time.
I don't remember.
Yeah, this is probably a...
Okay, so that's a bit of interesting knowledge, tidbits about Equestrian Data that I didn't know. Isaac belongs at Depot. That would be something. Though this is incredible, and I love doing this. There is a passion that's slightly bigger than this, and that's making alternate reality games. So that's going to be the thing that I'll be doing for the rest of my life, probably. Next to doing whatever I feel like doing. Have you seen any previous generations of MLP? Partially. I was interested in where the show came from, so I actually watched the pilot episode of the first generation of My Little Pony, and I was actually really surprised because it was actually pretty damn dark. It had slavery, it had dragons, it had monsters, it had a dark overlord threatening to cut off Spike's head. So when I was watching that, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that, because my mind was thinking, the later generation, it would be like the later generations, the dark, soulless creations of the underworld that are known as 3.5.
Yeah, you mean you were cuties?
Yeah. Oh yeah, someone punches dragon, yes, in the face. That was really surprising. It was so badly paced, badly written, badly animated. So yeah, basically that. Why did anyone make a twist PNB? There's a twist PNB? I didn't know that.
Don't watch it!
It's the video that he linked.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, type in the question.
What hopes do you have for PMVs in the future? I sort of what I want to do with these. What do you hope PMVs to grow? I have seen previews of what some people are doing, and that has gone beyond what I imagined it would go, and the projects I have in mind, the project I've planned out, that goes beyond what I have in mind as well. So
It goes beyond all of our expectations.
yeah, so where do you hope PMVs do? I have no idea. I mean, what I want to do is I have sort of this thought that I constantly think, how can I stretch this? And Strive like Applejack sort of blurs the line between animation, music video, and PMV. It's a mismatch of different things, and it's just gonna go even further than that. I'm going to completely animate something, which I have no idea about how I'm gonna go about to do that. So that's the next big challenge.
You want to do a collab? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
that would be something.
That
Yeah.
sounds like fun.
animation collab.
That would be something. Yeah, that sounds like fun. So let's see, if there were to be an upcoming Gen 5, do you think it would be better Gen G4? I don't know. What I hope for, and I can't really... my nose is... Excuse me. What I hope for is that people will pick up on the explosion that is the show and the surrounding community, that people pick up on that and sort of realize, like, hey, if we make something incredible, we can have the same thing, and we can make something that's really, you know, amazing and mind-blowing and goes beyond borders and goes beyond people's preconceptions about what a children's girls cartoon is supposed to be. So, you know, I hope, if there's a Gen 5, I hope it would be better. I'm not sure, you know, I mean, I'm not much of a person to think that far ahead in the future. I'm more of a here and now kind of guy. But it's at times fun to sort of speculate. Let's see, what's your favorite video game? I see, you know, that's a funny question. My favorite video game, because I am a game designer. So, and if I were to say my favorite game, it is actually Tetris, probably, because that's an incredibly designed game. That's one of my favorite games. Let's see. Do you think you'll do a PFV collab with Mandarin Orange? Maybe. That's a possibility. I sort of talk to him daily, so maybe I should know a time. Hey, Mandarin.
Hey, maybe we should do a collab.
Yeah, maybe we should. Actually, aren't we already doing?
We've got like 2 of those going on.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
One that we can
Make a
and one
third
we
one,
can't.
just
Yeah, maybe we'll.
there's one we can't. There's one that we can talk about, and there's one that we shouldn't talk about.
Yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite tea? Oh, I've been drinking a lot of different teas lately. I like trying out a lot of different teas. Currently I have this peppermint spearmint blend. So I like a specific brand of tea, which is Hampstead tea, which is based in London. It's pretty pricey. It's like a premium thing, but it's all organic and fair trade. So it has this really full flavor to every flavor they have. Basically every different tea thingy they have. I really like the vanilla licorice tea, which has had sort of this licoricey flavor. Let's see, would you watch a really great Barbie? I would, as long as it's good. Then, you know, I'll watch it. I'll be interested. How much did you consume in the making of this video? All of your videos? I don't know. Basically, when I pour myself a cup of tea, I did like this ½ liter flask, which I fill like 2 or 3 times a day, and like I've been doing this for about 9 months or so. So, you know, do the math. Do you like Applejack more or less after this video, and why? Throughout every video of this series, I've begun to like every character more and more. And why that is because you watch a lot of footage of the characters, and you know, up close you really sort of have this analytical look at it, and you pick up on their mannerisms and their you pick up on their mannerisms and their voice, and you know, their little subtle movements, and you know, it's every character has really grown on me that way. Will 1.5 liters of tea a day make me as amazing as you? I don't think that tea is really much of a. I mean, I drink tea because I love it. Let's see, if you want to. If you want to, you know, you do what you love doing, and practice and spend a lot of time doing it. Try out different things, experiment, go beyond your comfort zone, and don't be afraid. It's actually pretty funny. Learn, like, try it, sparkle. I personally believe that is the worst of the bunch, which is mainly because after the success of Play Like Pinkie Pie, I felt I had something to live up to. And I was really insecure about the entire project at the time. It wasn't good enough, and it still isn't good enough. And that really colored the development of the video itself, and I think it really shows, because I don't like it. But at the same time, I learned a lot from it after the feedback, and I sort of got over that fear, and I managed to make Love Like Fluttershy, which was a lot better, in the space of a week, because I sort of switched that that bad experience around in something. What can I take from this? What can I learn from this? And I was really scared about doing that video. So I just figured I'm just gonna go all out and not think about how it's going to not think about it too much, how it's going to turn out, or whether people will think badly of it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make it. And it turned out that turned out pretty alright. So basically, yeah, just do what you love and be confident. Be a bit cocky, maybe, be a bit, it's okay to sort of, go and this is going to be awesome, this is going to be the best thing ever. It's not really the best thing ever, but it can be something amazing, and it's okay to talk about it as if it's something amazing, because after all, you are spending a lot of time on that, and after it turns out, you've learned so much making it. So yeah, which upcoming episode of MP are you looking forward to the most? I don't look forward to anything episode related. In fact, I like keeping myself in the dark about the episodes, because that's a lot more fun. Our friend Indeed, I didn't know it was a Pinkie Pie episode, so I started watching that, and the song starts, and I'm like, oh my god, and then I was happy, and then the episode ended, and I was high, literally, like hours on end. I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever.
Picture of Isaac's brain.
Pinkie Pie is his drug.
Let's see. If you were to write a letter to Princess Celestia about this video making experience, what would you write? Dear Princess Celestia, 9 months ago, I started on a journey to become better at something that I thought, would be fun to do and that other people were doing. And I had a lot of fun, starting doing it. And then I found out that things sort of exploded, and I became famous. And I didn't know what to do, so I just sort of continued on doing what I thought was right. And then I met people who I'm talking to right now, who are amazing and do amazing things, and who I learned from, and who offer me feedback, and who are just a riot to be with. And now I'm here, and I'm doing a live stream which has sort of lasted for the last 2.5 hours, and I'm answering questions, and this has been an amazing journey so far, and I can't wait where I'll be going next. Next question. Unless, of course, those were all the questions, which is fine.
Did you know that the Smile song was late?
I did, but I sort of like keeping myself in the dark, so I didn't I knew it was leaked at the time, but I completely forgot about it. So then the song started. And, oh hey, so this is the this is pretty catchy. You know, all sorts.
Did you see that animation breakdown?
Yeah, the animation breakdown
Yes.
about the walk side.
Yeah, that was very insightful actually, and it for the next project that I'm doing, it was very helpful as well. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about it at the moment. Thank you for your commitment. You're welcome. And thank you for the incredible feedback and coming here and listening to me ramble for hours on end. Yeah, I guess you know, it's already 10:30 here. I think I'll be wrapping this up for now. Thanks everyone for coming in. And also, ozone lens flare is better.
I'm glad you answered that question. I needed to know. It's gonna kill me.
Oh, what aspect of the brownie community do you enjoy the most? This, what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm gonna go and answer one more question, and then that'll be the last one.
You have my babies. There you go.
That is not that is not the last question.
Question.
Disregard that question. You know, I am going to answer that. I like yes a lot better than no.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, so last question.
Somebody give a serious question for
No, I am setting myself up for a bit of exploitation, of course. How do you envision the brownie community panning out? I joined sort of the community. It was a conscious decision for me. I watched the show, you know, season 1 in basically 3 days, and I found out that it was this whole community that sort of sprung up. And for me, it was this incredibly fascinating crossing of both internet culture and, you know, copyright, you know, and then Hasbro being, you know, okay with it, that, you know, that it got copied a lot and, you know, placed on YouTube, and, you know, it has been, you know, a bit rocky lately. But and there was also, you know, it went beyond, you know, preconceived notions of gender, and it was actually, you know, to me it was incredibly fascinating. So I sort of joined the fandom in as an experiment, you could say, and sort of I want to be a part of this, and I can't wait to find out where this will all go. How do I envision the brownie community panning out? I don't know, because there is no precedent to this. This is the very first time this has happened. This is unique and incredibly fascinating, and I don't know. The only thing that I know is that it's going to be fantastic, and there's going to be there are some in the short term, and by which you mean, you know, a couple of months. There are some things that are really cool. That'll be uploaded to YouTube, and you know, it's I never expected, you know, my videos to have such an impact. So I'm, you know, I don't know. I only know that it's going to be good. And that was the last question.
Oh, wait. I actually do have a quick one for you, if you haven't already answered it. When it comes to masking, do you have certain settings that you use when you roto brush that just makes it a little smoother?
That depends on the sequence. It also depends on the let me go just quick into, where is that thing? Transition A/B, tree scroll run. I guess I'm gonna go into. It depends on the source footage that you have. Whether there's a lot of artifacts in that, I use lossless API converters from the iTunes rips. Yeah, it depends on that, on the complexity of the scene, the complexity of the curves. Generally, there's like the where are you? AJ3 Stampede.
It also must depend also on the character size, because like
Yeah.
the character's really big on the screen, then it's much easier to mask out than a tiny little.
Yeah, I can actually sort of illustrate one of the difficulties. It's one of the if After Effects wants to cooperate, that is. Please. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go to. Let's go back actually. Turn this into full. Wait for After Effects to load the frame. Because this is half resolution, so yeah, you know, this particular shot illustrates the problem pretty well. You know, we have Applejack here. She's pretty big on the screen, so now it's pretty easy to mask out. But in her mouth is this what do you call this? Hay thingy, straw. Piece of straw.
Yes, it would be strong.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, it depends on the on that. Usually I like using using as less smoothing as possible, because it sort of wants to go cut in, yeah, or go around, or not take on, you know, the curves properly, because, you know, the After Effects.
Yeah, I've noticed when I do it with the smoothing a little bit higher, like it usually sets it at about a 2, and then if you set it to like say 3 or 4, and you have the mouth moving, and you want that like mouth to keep, you know, like with the actual shows showing you, it usually just like it'll cut out parts of the mouth. So
Yeah.
if then you show it within your timeline or anything like that, it totally looks wrong, and you have to go back and masks and things.
So. Yeah, that's in Rotobrush it is a really quick, but it isn't perfect, and it requires finesse definitely. So we have the you know, this is pretty straightforward curves and stuff, but you know, parts like this, that's really something to look out for. Actually, choke, that's something that you can use a lot to sort of make sure that you don't have any stray pixels sort of outline like parts of the background. So
Is
also,
the choke usually set high?
I have it currently for this shot. I have it on 25%. Usually it's on like 0 or 10 maybe. I'm not sure. Let's see. But you know, it with you know, parts as small as this, it starts to have trouble. Yeah, it all depends on the shot, and there is no perfect Rotobrush setting for anything, I think.
Okay.
No problem. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that wraps up the stream for now. Thanks everyone for the questions, but also for coming to the stream itself and watching my videos and all the feedback. And I'll talk to all of you later.